Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:34 and Van Halen with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Yeah, the two phonies on the morning show. It's gonna be. What is that guy's name? What did we say the actor's name was? It wasn't
Edward G. Robinson.
Edward G. Robinson, right. Well, Edward G. Robinson's, it's going to be 21 today. And actually, a mix of rain and snow, depending on where you are out of the Pioneer Valley. High of 39 tomorrow. Mix of sun and clouds with a high of 26. It is 21 right now in downtown Springfield.
A big day for contests. We got the code word Alexa. We'll give you the keyword and how you can win an Amazon Echo Pop. That's coming around 7:50 this morning. Mm-hmm. And we got concert tickets.
For what?
The Springfield Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So that's, we'll be Gershwin, Berlin, and Friends. They got a big Gershwin metal show coming up very soon. And we'll have Paul Lambert from the Springfield Symphony here today, too.
Like Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds
yes.
kind of thing? When is somebody going to do a symphony about them?
I don't know why it's taken so long. 2025 and no one said boo. I have no idea.
And I'll tell you all about how I'm now on the soft food portion of my colonoscopy prep.
The liquid diet has begun.
Now, the liquid diet, yes, you're supposed to drink fluids, but the soft food thing, no seeds, no nuts, no corn.
No nuts. That's got to be hard for you.
Well, it is.
Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Your echo is...
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:52. And the Foo Fighters are Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Mix of sun and clouds today, eventually after this little snow squalls taper off, and high of 43. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 29. It's 24 right now in downtown Springfield.
Hollywood Trash is brought to you by the Western Mass Masons. Call them for all your foundation and chimney needs.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
I guess Bill Burr is not very happy that Howie Mandel blindsided him by bringing his alleged half-brother Billy Corgan out during an interview on Howie's podcast. We talked a little bit about this last week.
Right.
Bill vented about it during an appearance on the Rich Eisen show this week. He said Howie did what he did because he's a Hollywood whore and he doesn't care about what happens. He could have said something and he just, brings up all that weirdness. But he added, quote, he's Howie, so he's hard to hate. You know what I mean? I mean, how do you hate a germaphobe? He's not threatening. He walks with his arms in so he doesn't rub against curtains that he owns. That's the weirdest thing about him. He is a strange man.
Did you see the video?
I did.
I'm watching this thing and I'm thinking, you know what? I feel bad for Bill Burr and
Billy Corgan.
I mean, they really were set up. What a D-bag move that was by Howie.
Yes, but Howie's engagement has risen by 150%. And nobody was doing that before they went on there.
Yeah, I know that, but it's like, if it were us, I would never ambush two guys like that.
Oh, I would. I totally would.
See, I have a conscience.
Yeah.
I'm a human being deep inside.
And I have TikTok followers to appease, too.
Well, there's other ways, Steve. Wouldn't you be better off just insulting the music of Tom Petty instead?
No, that doesn't get me anywhere. That does. Like 6 people watch those videos. Now, if we had somebody that we could let's say, Mayor Dom comes in here and we find out that he's related to Richie Neal somehow, and then we, put them two together and ambush them.
Dominic, this is your father.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, your grandfather.
Your grandfather. He was a Rolling Stone back in the day, if you know what I mean.
I guess so.
Sigourney Weaver is currently on the London stage playing Prospero in Shakespeare's The Tempest.
I knew she'd fit that role.
But during Monday's performance, Sigourney was doing her thing when she was interrupted by 2 protesters from an environmental group called Just Stop Oil. They didn't do anything but walk on stage and held a banner that read, "Over 1.5 degrees Celsius is a global shipwreck." Now, what is that in Fahrenheit?
I don't know. What Shakespeare play is that from?
I believe Macbeth.
Really?
Macbeth.
Yeah, I didn't see that part.
But Sigourney was ushered off stage until the protesters left. They are both in police custody. The video is readily available because Just Stop Oil posted it on their Instagram along with a voiceover that said, quote, "Governments serve greedy corporations and continue to prioritize power and profit over saving our lives. We need to get them on with their job and serve the ordinary people they were supposed to protect." I'm all about people who have ideologies and want to protest something that means something to them.
Mm-hmm.
But of all places, what is a Sigourney Weaver play? What is that gonna? Wouldn't you want to do this like at a political rally or
someone had to plan this out. Someone had to say, Sigourney Weaver's doing Shakespeare. What better way to
get our message
out
by interrupting her performance?
Yeah. If we could only protest in like Shakespearean language, like in a sonnet, that would be fantastic. We'd really get our point across.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody's got their methods of doing things.
I guess.
Anthony Mackie is the new Captain America, but he's upset. He upset people the other day when he said, quote, "Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of them."
So what are you going to call him?
I have no idea.
That guy with the shield?
They don't even, explain what he's talking about. I don't know what they just put these one-line blurbs in here, like I'm supposed to know what he meant by that.
Well, that's why you have to go and dig down deeper into the internet to find out what the hell he's talking about. Otherwise, it's all taken out of context.
Let's talk about artists who surprisingly have never won a Grammy. In alphabetical order.
Okay.
ABBA.
Really?
Yeah. The Beach Boys. Which is
That's
weird.
That's weird to me.
Blake Shelton.
Who cares?
Whatever. Bob Marley. Not even the comedian Bob Marley.
No, not even him.
Diana Ross.
Diana Ross has never won a Grammy?
Never won one.
Come on.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride kind of thing.
It's Diana Ross.
I know. But people can be nominated 100 times for something over the course of a career, but they don't get the actual
Good
award.
Lord.
Guns N' Roses. Jonas Brothers. What?
That's an outrage.
Journey. Which
Okay.
that's surprising, too. I mean, you'd think a band that has been so popular, many different hits over and over again.
But I can understand Journey not getting one a lot more than I can understand the Beach Boys or Diana Ross getting snubbed.
Right. Katy Perry.
Okay.
Nicki Minaj.
Mm-hmm.
Queen never received a Grammy.
I know.
That's surprising to me.
It's a little surprising.
Rush. Selena Gomez. Snoop Dogg. And Tupac. Tupac's never going to get that one. I don't think
He'll never accept it.
Well, I mean, he's always got new stuff coming out, even though he's been dead for almost 30 years.
He's got 3 new albums every year.
How does somebody who's dead still keep releasing? Oh, yeah, we found a mixtape in his mom's basement. This is where he sings Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Here's a record he recorded in a booth at the Big E.
Yeah, it's seemingly kind of weird that, a guy like him or his estate keeps putting out. I guess that's how you keep making money on the estate, right?
That's how Jimi Hendrix has done it. He's got more albums out now than he had when he was alive.
Worth more dead than he was alive.
It's true.
Let's see. Here's how small Timothy Chalamet is. He had to put on 20 pounds to play Bob Dylan.
And he was already ridiculous. And Dylan's thin.
Well, not comparatively, he's a fat bastard compared to Timothy Chalamet.
Hit in my belly.
Kim Kardashian had a little Botox shot to the face.
Really? Mm-hmm. You must have something to say.
Oh, my God. The last time I got a shot to the face like that was when Ray J used his third leg gospel pipe to spray me with rude glue in that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95. That a little Elmer's?
I don't know. Caitlin?
Well, I never got that down and dirty with your mother, Chris Kim, but it was, I once pounded that, it was like pounding pork nails into a shaved peach. I hid the beef bayonet in the fire bush.
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is I did the 3-pump crotch tango and waxed her bum beam so hard she looked like a befuddled penguin. All I can think of is Burgess Meredith for some reason. Did you ever wax the bum beam so hard you look like the penguin?
No, I
befuddled one? And that's your Hollywood trash on Rock 102.
5 familiar building with the bell, where big things begin. But there's one.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Hey, everybody, exciting news today in the world of professional football. News that doesn't have anything to do with the crummy Super Bowl you got planned for February 9th between the Philadelphia Eagles and the refereeing crew that'll be playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. No, sir. I'm talking about the real important stuff. I'm talking about the Pro Bowl. Why am I doing that? Because it's the damn Pro Bowl, and everyone's talking about the announcement that Drake May of the Patriots has been selected as the replacement player for Bills quarterback Josh Allen. That's right, Drake May is going to the Pro Bowl. And after every other quarterback in the league found themselves with better stuff to do, it was Drake May of the 4-13 New England Patriots that finally got the call. I should also point out that Russell Wilson of the Pittsburgh Steelers was also selected to replace quarterback Jayden Daniels of the Washington Commanders, and Lord knows they wouldn't have picked that guy unless everybody else said no first. Either way, Drake and Russell will get to enjoy stuff like tomorrow night's Pro Bowl Skills Night. This is an event of thoroughly relevant baseball-adjacent competitions, including such ambiguous stuff as passing the test, satisfying catches, something known as the Big Spike, a relay race, the helmet harmony, and finally, dodgeball. But that's not all, because I've also added stuff like, and I'm not making this up, the EA Sports Madden NFL 25 Challenge, Punt Perfect, the Great Football Race, and a Tug of War. Then, once that's all over, you'll have the official Pro Bowl game itself on Sunday at Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida, where some of the best remaining players in the NFL will compete in a non-contact, competition-resistant flag football game. The winners of which will enjoy a big fat paycheck of $90,000. That's almost more than Drake May makes in an entire week. And now, he'll be one of the lucky few who have been selected to replace players who couldn't be bothered to participate. And he's going to do it in his rookie season. Why, it's almost enough to make you forget all about what a lousy season the Patriots had. Certainly is for me. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You know, looking at the deals this month at Rocky's. The bird food, the storage totes, the hand tools. You can look on the printed flyer, pick one up at the Rocky's store, or get the sales flyer online at Rockies.com. What's on sale at Rocky's? It's always at your fingertips at Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's
classic rock at 6:14 and Journey without a Grammy Award on Rock 102.
It is going to be mix of sun and clouds today eventually with a high of 43. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 29. It's 24 in downtown Springfield. I heard this like banging going on at like 2:30 this morning, and I realized there was snow plows outside of my house. I live in an area where, the desolate wasteland of the hill towns.
Are they just getting to the streets now from the last storm, or was this from like overnight?
No, they're actually pretty good about getting on top of that stuff.
Well, they only have 4 roads to plow.
I don't think people realize like how many miles of road are out in a small town per se, because it's area-wise. You know, the area of Huntington is actually much bigger than people would imagine. That's why it takes you like 25 minutes to get to Blandford, depending on which side of the town you're going to.
Well, I grew up in a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you live in a small town.
And I live in a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna die in a small town.
What's the next line?
Is it Plenty Opportunity or something?
I never pay attention to that.
That song plays 8,000 times a week here.
And I just turn the volume down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand. I understand that, I work, Rehoboth is a very small town, probably not that much more hustle and bustle than Hamden or Huntington, but nevertheless.
We are 2 days away, or I am 2 days away from getting an ultimate clean out of,
You're getting the medically induced underbody flush.
Flu, I would call it. underbody flu because it feels like a flu. I have a colonoscopy scheduled for this Friday. And, man, that's something I'm really not looking forward to.
I don't know why the hesitation. You've been through this before. It's not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, it's one night of a lot of activity and anxiety. But once you get past that, piece of cake.
You know what you just sounded like?
What?
That guy, one of the talking point guys on Airplane where he's like, they bought their tickets. They knew what they were doing. I say let them crash.
See?
Yeah.
It's not that much different.
No.
There's something going down.
So I don't have to worry about this medication table because nothing I'm taking is affected by this medication. I have like a heartburn medication that I take.
That's not the thing that's going to burn.
No. And they tell you, fill your colon preparation prescription.
Mm-hmm.
Check. Make arrangements for a ride home from the procedure. I have Poober.
Will they let you do it with an Uber?
No. My friend, she's going to drive me. I call her Poober. She drove me to the last one, too.
Wow. Well, that's a good friend right there.
Yeah, she's married to that guy, Todd from Columbia Gas. That guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
That guy. And but she's my Poober for the day.
I bet she's very excited to drive you. Anyway.
Well, hey, it's friends helping friends, man. I mean, if you wanted a ride, I would find somebody to get you to get you to go, right? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't I?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can make arrangements.
All right, so we're now, what are we? We're 2 days away, right?
Yes.
So they said the 5 days, stop taking the medication or whatever, but I don't have to worry about that. 4 days, and I haven't done this, do not eat nuts, seeds, or popcorn.
You've had nuts, seeds, and popcorn?
I didn't have any of that
Oh,
stuff.
you didn't?
No. So I'm good there.
Okay.
Then 3 days before, which was yesterday, refer to the medication table. Again, I don't have to worry about that. Today is the 2 day before. This is where it starts.
Yeah, this is where it's soft food and liquids.
Do not eat raw fruits and raw vegetables. You got any apples over there?
I don't.
Bananas?
Do I look like a guy that's got apples?
Yeah. Raw vegetables. Whole grains and high fiber foods such as brown rice, whole grain breads, beans, granola, seeds, or nuts. So none of that stuff.
None of that.
No. Stop all iron supplements and multivitamins with iron. All
okay.
Right? Drink lots of clear liquids to keep you hydrated, which I had some water this morning. And
You'll need more than that.
A little squeezed lemon in there. No seeds, though. Can't have the lemon seeds.
Okay.
Avoid red dyes found in fruit punch and other sports drinks. However, they tell you that it's okay to drink Gatorade, but it has to be like the green kind.
Yeah, anything that's like orange or red, that could wind up being a problem because they might see that as a. I don't know if it's because they think it might be like blood when they're going through everything.
Yeah, it does look. That's what they kind of think it looks like. Confirm your ride home. I already confirmed the Poober the other day. We are
safe.
all set for the Poober. You will be sedated. I want to
be sedated.
You will be sedated.
Right.
That's what they wrote it out like that, too. And unable to drive for the remainder of the day. Well, I'm okay with that. I got to tell you, man, that's like the best part of it, is waking up from that high, like you're just coming out of that, ooh.
Yeah,
and you let go that giant, gas bubble.
You gotta produce the air biscuit before they let you go. But I got to tell you, you're absolutely right. That is, to me, that nap makes it all worth it.
Yeah. We cannot perform your colonoscopy unless you have a responsible adult to escort you home. Now, I've known this person for many years. I wouldn't necessarily paint her as a responsible adult. Can it just be an adult?
Enough.
Can it just be an adult?
Yeah, it's going to be a qualified adult who is responsible enough.
Eat a small dinner, and you may eat a snack by 9 p.m. This is your last solid meal until after the procedure. So then tomorrow morning, I'll be drinking nothing but juice. Nothing but clear juice.
Nice.
Do not consume any of the following: solid foods, any juices with pulp. But I like pulp.
Pulp flies, baby.
Red juices, popsicles, etc. Dyes can interfere with the test. Alcohol, don't have to worry about that. Dairy products, so no milk of any type. I can't put cream in my coffee.
That sucks.
How does black coffee not throw a test off like that?
It's a good question, but apparently black coffee is an acceptable thing.
Here you go. Take any regular medications not addressed on the medication table as you normally would. Drink plenty of clear fluids with calories and sugar all day so your blood sugar doesn't get too low. Too low, too low, too low. To the windows!
To the wall!
To the stuff. Oh.
Now, Jell-O, I heard, is a good substitute for actual food.
I'm not a Jell-O fan.
You're not a big Jell-O fan?
No, I'd rather just drink clear juice. It says Gatorade or other sports drinks. You can drink black coffee or plain tea. Sugar is okay, but no cream or milk. Clear juices like apple, white grape, or white cranberry. Well, that's a little,
What?
All that sugar? That's a lot of sugar.
It's natural
And
sugars.
They go on.
And fructose.
Ginger ale, Sprite, 7-Up. Ugh. Stuff makes me gag. Popsicles or Jell-O. No red, purple, or blue colored. I'm not going to do that. Clear bouillon.
Boring.
Isn't bouillon all not really clear?
It's considered a clear liquid.
Yeah.
And it's nothing but salt, really.
All right. And then tomorrow at 5 p.m., this is where things get really interesting. Prepare the laxative following the directions on the bottle. Begin drinking the solution. 8 ounces every 15 to 20 minutes until the entire gallon is gone. If you feel nauseated from drinking, nauseous from drinking so much so quickly, stop until the nausea subsides. Resume drinking as soon as possible. The laxative can begin effects within 1 to 4 hours. You will want to be near a bathroom. Consider a soothing cream such as Vaseline, AD ointment, or Desitin.
No, it's a great time to just go to the mall and see what happens.
Well, I was gonna say, can I go about my daily routine? Can I go to the post office?
You should go to the gym.
Yeah, right. Yeah, do some squats, right? To reduce irritation from frequent bowel movements, the laxative will cause you to have very loose, watery stool.
That's putting it mildly.
Your bowel movements will get lighter in color and liquid. Your stool will be yellow, green color, and no solid matter. That's the goal.
The first time I did one, this is many, many years ago. First time I did one, they gave me the big old jug. And you got to go through the whole jug. And by the end of the jug, it's nothing but sludge. But it took me forever for the eagle to finally land.
Yeah.
Like I was tracking it and posting it online. The whole thing. Took me 13 cups for it to work. I was practically done with the entire gallon.
Yeah.
Before.
Well, you might have been bound up.
Man, I got to tell you, I couldn't believe that I was waiting that long for this thing to hit. When it hit violently.
Oh, yeah.
But it took a long, long time.
It's like somebody having a sword fight in your bowels. For patients that take long-acting insulin, whatever. I don't do that. Do not have any solid food. You can continue the clear liquids up to 3 hours prior to the procedure. And then make sure you take your oral diabetic medications.
Diabetic.
Do not take any of the morning of the procedure for patients using insulin. So 3 hours before your scheduled procedure, do not take anything by mouth 3 full hours prior. Do not eat or drink anything. No gum or hard candy.
No gum?
Well,
not swallowing the gum.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's they don't want you to swallow it. Yeah, but accidentally.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean, can you imagine after the procedure's over, they're like, did you find anything? Yeah, hubba bubba.
What I would kill for some bubblicious right about now.
Bubble yum next to the bum bum. How about that? And then
well, you're gonna be a human bazooka, but in a few hours.
And it says after your colonoscopy, you should not work. I don't do that anyway. What are you talking about?
That's hilarious.
You shouldn't drive. That's okay. You can get cramping or bloating, and generally you can eat or drink regularly after the procedure, and then avoid alcohol for 24 hours.
Now, you're doing this at Bay State?
Yes.
So have you mapped out where you're going to eat like immediately after?
No, I haven't done. You know what? You told me that last time that you were going to be hungry. I could not eat anything.
Oh, dude.
For at least almost like another day.
I ate an omelet at Memo's the size of a Cadillac.
I don't know. I guess everybody's different, and I had no desire to eat any of that thing. So, wish me luck. Here we go.
It's 6:26 on Rock 102.
It's a Bart Tavern.
It's 6:20, almost 6:28 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Dan Brown has the full forecast for you.
This week on Baxy's Musical Podcast, my guest is Laura Ferris, better known as Lau. She's an Argentinian singer-songwriter, a producer, a drummer, a record executive. Fascinating woman. She's got a brand new record out that came out back in, I think, November or October called Digital Dream. It's a synth pop classic. Really amazing stuff, and you can hear that interview on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Rock 102 YouTube channel, rock102.com, and on the app. And it's all brought to you by Metro, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram at Chicopee and Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
All right. You ready to laugh?
I'm ready to laugh.
Let's laugh. Where's that thing?
Yeah, right there.
It's Bax and Nagle's Joke of the Day
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
on Rock 102,
I make you laugh.
Springfield's classic rock.
What do you call a lizard that smokes weed?
I don't know, Steve. What do you call a lizard that smokes weed?
A marijuana. You like that? Huh?
Yeah, that's
You
clever.
see?
Yeah.
5 more jokes like this next Thursday night, February 6th at the Shortstop Bar and Grill $20 dinner and a comedy show. All right.
Bax and Nagle in the morning on Rock 102, Springfield's classic.
6:31 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. I guess there are some school delays and stuff, and I'm sure if you're, you don't need to go through a list of them.
I'm
It's
sure you're
mostly
aware
like
of it.
Franklin County and all that stuff, but I guess they got it a little bit harder up there. So there you go. Just letting you know that.
I'm sure if there's a delay, your school system has already contacted you about it.
Robocall.
Yes.
Like RoboCop, but robocall.
Right.
A homicide case that convicted a man for the 2015 murder of a woman in Springfield has been approved for review. The state's highest court has vacated the murder conviction of Pedro Vasquez's trial, ruling the judge failed to properly investigate claims of racial bias against one of the jurors, and that may have affected deliberations. Vasquez was found guilty of second-degree murder and other charges in the killing of 30-year-old Yahara Hernandez. She was found shot and killed in her car on Scott Street. A home security system from across the street captured audio and video showing Hernandez's vehicle come to a stop. Approximately 4.5 minutes later, the driver's side rear door opened and an argument in Spanish could be heard between a man and a woman, followed by a gunshot and the shooter running away. Vasquez presented evidence of an alibi, specifically from his daughter and ex-wife, who testified that he was home with them during the time the victim was killed. After 10 days of the trial, the deliberation began for about 2 hours before being dismissed for the weekend. An alleged confrontation between two jurors occurred that day outside of the courthouse and was brought up to the judge the following Monday. During the review of the incident, the judge ultimately decided not to discharge either juror. The verdict was returned later that day to guilty of murder in the second degree. Vasquez received the maximum life sentence, which was life in prison and the possibility of parole after 25 years. The case has now been sent back to the Superior Court for further appellate review of the appeal. That is why wouldn't you declare a mistrial at that point, or at least a?
I don't understand why these jurors weren't dismissed. They have alternates, right?
Yeah,
In most trials.
If you're getting into an altercation with another juror, that seemingly shouldn't. I mean, you shouldn't be discussing the case and all that stuff. I mean, I know people do, but
No, of course, but even if it's not about the case, even if they're being disruptive,
yeah.
At risk of a mistrial, you get rid of them. You tell them to go home. Now, I'm sure some judges will tell you, if we let go every juror that wanted to get involved in a fist fight, then no one would serve.
No, that's exactly why you would get rid of a juror. I mean, most jurors.
If you want to be in a jury, you start throwing fists and just see what happens.
Most jurors, behave.
Because they understand the importance of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
It seems kind of weird.
I'll tell you what, if I were the victim's family, I'd be pissed off about this. That here we are looking at a potential mistrial because the judge misjudged the situation. I don't know. I would not be satisfied with this.
Springfield police are warning residents about tires being stolen from cars in the area. Overnight, 4 vehicles throughout several Springfield neighborhoods had their tires and rims stolen, according to police. These neighborhoods include East Forest Park, Liberty Heights, and in the McKnight area. Police also say Toyotas and Hyundais are targeted often. They apostrophized, is that how you say that? The Toyotas and Hyundais. It should just be plural. It shouldn't just be with an apostrophe.
It's not possessive.
Right.
Yes. I don't know. I'm not sure that English is the first language of mass life.
There's no exact pattern yet, says Springfield Police spokesman Ryan Walsh, but just be cautious. Have an alarm set when someone touches your tires. What?
An alarm? A
What
tire
are you
alarm?
talking about? What does he mean?
I don't know. I don't think my car's got one of those.
I think sometimes Ryan needs to be put on a leash. He just says things. He just says things.
Some will tell you he already is.
Put an alarm on those tires. What do you mean? Is there an alarm? Is there a tire alarm? I've never been offered that at a Town Fair Tire before. Yeah, you know what? You get offered all kinds of different road hazard stuff, but I've never said, yeah, you know what you really need? A tire alarm.
Someone starts fiddling with the lug nuts, all of a sudden, alarm goes off.
You have
Cops are there in seconds.
And then he says, make sure your ring camera's on. You have your cars lit up. There's not a lot a car owner can do when someone comes to your house at 3 o'clock in the morning. These crimes only take a matter of minutes to happen. Officers will be patrolling the streets of Springfield to spot potential suspects. You're asked to call the police if you witness someone trying to remove the tires from a car. Yeah, don't call AAA. Call the police.
I'm more likely to call AAA.
And then call police.
And then call.
Because they're going to need to put new tires on their car. A 66-year-old man who died in a workplace accident last Friday has been identified as Matthew Netarostic of Westfield, according to the Northwestern DA's office. The deadly accident occurred Friday morning at the worksite off Cleveland Street in Greenfield. The Greenfield Fire Department reported that at approximately 8:54 a.m. they received reports of a person stuck in a sand pit. The Northwestern DA's office stated that Netarostic is believed to have fallen into a silo at a site used by Chicopee-based concrete company to mix dry ingredients for cement. According to coworkers, Netarostic had climbed to the top of the tower when they realized he was missing and failed to respond to radio calls. The rescue effort was then transitioned into a recovery operation. The Greenfield Police, Mass State Police, Western Mass Technical Rescue Team, and all the other departments came in to help. The Office of Chief Medical Examiner is currently investigating the death, and 22 News will update you as the more information becomes available. Valentine's Day coming fast.
Oh, I know.
And if you don't act now, you could miss out on getting your hands on some of the best gifts. And the holiday is not just about expensive presents. It's about the sentiment behind them.
Right.
From a heartfelt card to a simple token, you can brighten someone's day without needing to break the bank. Who's paying? Is Walmart paying 22 News to run these stories?
I'm going to guess yes.
At Walmart, the spirit of Valentine's Day is more affordable than ever.
Has there ever been a more romantic setting than a Walmart?
Well, I mean, it's a store that does happen to sell items that it's just getting past the idea that you're in a Walmart together.
Certainly true, but has there ever been anything that said, I love you more than falling prices and a Walmart bag?
Yeah, that little emoji, the little smiley face emoji.
With the eggplant and the peach?
Yeah, that one.
That's the one I use.
The spirit of Valentine's Day is more affordable than ever. There are tons of budget-friendly gift options, from cute plush toys to themed home decor. Are you buying curtains for your loved one on Valentine's Day?
Yes. Our wedding anniversary is just days after Valentine's Day, and I believe this is the year that the traditional gift is curtains.
How many years is it?
It'll be 6.
What is the traditional gift for the 6-year anniversary?
Iron.
Huh?
Iron.
What about wood? When was that one?
I don't know, but apparently it's iron. Well, what do you get someone you love made of iron?
Iron supplements.
Well, that was my first thought.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting up there, Bax. So you got to get some of those multivites in there. Listen, honey, we can take these together. I know you're way far behind me, but you're going to need this to prepare you for when you reach that threshold. Because I can't carry you over one anymore.
Just you wait until you get to be my age someday.
Listen, bone density has prevented me from carrying you over the threshold. Let me get you iron supplements so you can carry yourself one day.
When osteoporosis becomes a romantic language.
And since gifting on Valentine's Day isn't reserved for just romantic partners,
right?
It's a celebration of all kinds of love between friends, family, and even yourself. Yes, but they still make people who don't have somebody to give a gift to feel very awful anyway.
I don't think I really need a Valentine's card from any of my buddies.
Well, Valentine's, this is one of the biggest sham holidays there is, for as far as getting people to buy things and making people feel guilty if they don't buy something. Why can't you show somebody you love them any other day of the year?
Well, you should, but this is a perfectly commercialized expression that the greeting card industry probably created.
I celebrate Bastille Day. I usually get gifts for that.
Smart. That's one that's not celebrated nearly enough.
Boxing Day. That's one of my favorite holidays.
Right.
Yeah. Walmart's cute and affordable finds make it possible to share smiles with anyone you care about.
Oh, my God. Who wrote this?
Whoever works for Walmart in the press department.
And Hallmark.
That's what they did. They put this together in a press release, and then they sent it out to all these news stations. And 22's like, what? This is a perfect piece to do on the nightly news. And they go into the ultra soft 5-inch plush Cooper. Cooper the dog is sporting a charming heart eye patch, making him perfectly on a theme for a Valentine's Day gift. Plus, he can give your sweetie plenty of hugs when you're not around.
Oh, boy.
And then the mainstays Valentine's Love You 3-wick candle. There's only one wick that needs to be burned on Valentine's Day.
And a candle. That's the truth.
How about the JWH 3D handmade soft round decorative rose flower accent throw pillow? Or the Better Homes and Guards juicy mandarin nectar scented 2-wick iridescent jar candle.
Wow, what a romantic.
I can't believe they're suggesting these as actual gifts you would give somebody as a sign of love.
Steve, you were married. Would your wife have wanted any of those items?
No.
No, my wife wouldn't want any of those items either.
She wanted a card was about as far as we went with that.
Yeah.
Because that's all you really need. You don't even really need that. Tree Hut Watermelon Shea Sugar Exfoliating and Hydrating Body Scrub.
Oh, yeah. She'd really love that.
Squishmallows official 5-inch Gulsey the Gray Raccoon with a fuzzy heart.
Oh, my God.
A Keurig K-Express Essential Red Single-Serve K-Cup Pod Coffee Maker. I couldn't think of a worse gift to give somebody. I'm complaining about the coffee maker we have up here, these K-Cups. Here, would you like some bitterness and disgustingness and diarrhea? Have a K-Cup. The Star Wars Valentine Yoda One for Me, men's long-sleeve graphic T-shirt. The Baranami Cute Valentine's Day Slippers for women.
Yeah.
The Jellycat Amusables Red Heart Valentine's Day toy. And you can get these all at your local Walmart.
You know what's hilarious? Okay, so those are gifts that are designed for the woman in your life.
Yeah.
Most men, if you ask what they want for Valentine's Day, it's usually the same thing, and it's a whole lot more simple. And you don't even have to leave the house.
Hey, gas station flowers and a 99, well, they don't even have 99-cent coffee. A $2.29 coffee from Cumberland Farms is a perfect gift for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. A couple scratchies to go along with it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're talking about a full romantic night out.
Give me things I need. Listen, a gas station has everything you need. You get dry gas to make sure your tank doesn't freeze during the wintertime, windshield washer fluid, a lighter, perhaps any number of cigarettes or vaporizer products that you could borrow. You could buy. The possibilities at a Cumberland Farms are endless.
And why not get a package of Hostess snowballs to celebrate?
There you go. And they're pink. Sometimes they're pink, depending on which one
Well,
you
those
get.
are the ones I would get, the pink ones.
Well, you get 2 of the pink, right?
Yeah.
And then you get 1 of the drink.
Two of the pink and one of the drink.
You
I totally get that.
can shock her for Valentine's
Oh, she'd be
Day.
totally shocked if I came home with that.
Oh, man, you shocked me. Yes, I know. I got 2 of the pink and 1 of the drink. Happy Valentine's Day. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 43. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 29. It is 24 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Spring.
And the Guess Who with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
Tom Petty.
No, it's a Guess Who.
No, John Mellencamp.
Nope. Guess Who.
Nirvana.
No. Guess Who.
The Amboy Dukes.
Hardly. It's Guess Who.
Tina Turner.
No. Hey, join Pat Kelly and the Rock 102 Road Crew on Friday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. He doesn't wake up that early.
Yeah.
For Free Music Friday. It's coming back to the Aria Ballroom at MGM. Remember last season? Very, very popular. Great room to see a show. Aquanet will be the first band. The tribute to 80s rock and metal. I'm sure many of you are already aware of what Aquanet does, and they're awesome. Stop by the Rock 102 table to register for your chance to win some nice prizes. It's coming up this Friday, 6:30 to 8:30 at the Aria Ballroom at MGM with Pat Kelly from Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
See, we used to write notes to each other of things we couldn't say to each other, but now I don't have a notepad in front of me, but that's what I wanted to say when you just said that.
Steve.
What?
Thanks for not saying that.
Oh, I wouldn't say that out loud.
Do you want some note cards?
It's an insight. No, I don't need that. We don't do that many notes. It's funny. I remember, we talk about that guy that listens to the show all the time, and he calls up. And what was the actor you said he sounds like?
Edgar G. Robinson.
Yeah, to the phonies on the morning show, and he calls up and complains. For some reason, there was like this new leaf that turned today with the latest one that I got.
Yeah.
I was expecting, this like slew of, insults and reasons why we shouldn't be on the air and all that stuff. And he starts, he can't help himself but insult the first line. Yeah, to the 2 phonies on the morning show. Yeah. See anal pumpkin head, right? And then he was listening to that story yesterday. We were talking about that DPW guy.
Yeah.
Up in Hatfield. And I obviously made a joke, and I said, when I said he was read his Miranda rights, and I said, who's this Miranda? And you said, I don't know, but I hear she's nice. And then, so this guy, he gives me this very well thought out explanation of what Miranda rights were and the history of them, and didn't even go into, the whole, I know what Miranda rights were.
Yeah.
But it was like a little history lesson on what those were. I think we're finally reaching that guy.
I don't think we are.
You don't think so?
No, because it was a joke.
No.
We know what the Miranda rights are.
I know, but at least it wasn't this whatever he calls us a bunch of different things. But
you know what, dude? You have the right to remain silent too. In fact, we would appreciate it.
Oh, come on now. How fun is it when I come in here every morning and there's at least 2 voicemails from the reception desk? And they're both him.
Yeah, and we get to hear all of them.
I think my voicemail is full because there's so many voicemails. I got to start deleting some of those.
I've kept some of his better ones.
I listen to all of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I laugh and I laugh.
I shake my head about how incredibly wrong and ill-percepted he is.
Hey, I know we don't have much time here, but, we were talking about things being locked up at CVS.
Yeah.
They're testing a new system where customers will be able to open locked shelves on their own within the store's app. So, if you want to buy something, you have to be registered as a CVS care card member, and then you probably have to buy it. And then it'll open the locked thing, so they don't have to hire any more employees for you to go bug and ask them to take the key and open up the Axe body spray cabinet.
So when I'm really desperate for some Axe body spray or some Dracar Noir, now I can do it right from the comfort of my phone.
Listen, CVS cares. They care so much they don't want you to inconvenience any of their no employees that they have working at the store already. They got like one person working there. How expensive is it to hire somebody for customer service?
My understanding is that a lot of these, big chain pharmaceutical places, these big pharmacies, they're losing money.
How?
Everything is going into the pharmacy end of it, and people, are not buying stuff.
I don't
like they used to.
I think that's made up.
Listen,
you're telling me you can't hire somebody to come and help a customer? You'd rather put all your money into this digital stuff and let the customer open up the cabinet by themselves? It seems a little ridiculous.
That's what they want to do.
Anyway.
It's 6:57 with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, as you know, we live in an economy that is largely driven by the notion of supply and demand. You have a lot of demand and very little supply, prices tend to go up. Conversely, when you have little demand and lots of supply, the prices go down. It's simple economics. At least that's what it said in the Google search. Nevertheless, with the Super Bowl just a week and a half away, you might think that ticket prices are going through the roof. Well, with the Kansas City Chiefs potentially becoming the first team to three-peat as Super Bowl champions. Well, you would be wrong. Ticket prices for this year's Super Bowl are not going up. In fact, ticket prices are way off from last year at this time. Largely because people are sick of the Kansas City Chiefs having been to 5 out of the last 6 Super Bowls. I mean, can you imagine that? A team that keeps showing up to the Super Bowl year after year, winning one Lombardi trophy after another, as if they don't have enough of them already. Well, it's true. Last year at this time, tickets for the Super Bowl were selling for as much as $7,000 per ticket. The year before that, you could get a ticket for $6,000 per shot. But this year, with all this Kansas City burnout, tickets are only going for $4,600 a piece. That's almost reasonable. Not reasonable enough to actually buy one, but reasonable enough to know that people are sick of seeing the same team year after year winning Super Bowl championships. I know I am. I'm up to here with the Kansas City Chiefs and their Patrick Mahomes and their Taylor Swift's boyfriend. Enough is enough. Look at the Patriots, for example. They haven't been to a Super Bowl in 6 years. That's an outrage. And frankly, I think it's time to give somebody else a shot for a change. Sure, I suppose it's possible that the Chiefs could lose to the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl a week from this Sunday. But is it really going to be worth spending $4,600 to watch it happen? Not when I can stay at home and watch it for free without having to look for my car when it's time to leave. So enjoy the supply while I sort through my wavering lack of demand. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. What do you know about snow throwers? You need to talk to Keith at the East Lawmeadow Rockies. Keith is an expert in that kind of stuff, whether it's selling or servicing Aaron snow throwers and Ego battery-powered snow throwers. Good people like Keith and rock-solid service. You'll find them at every Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch. Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 7:10 in Boston with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Mix of sun and clouds eventually today with a high of 43. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 29. It is 24 right now in downtown Springfield.
Code word Alexa coming up later on this hour. We'll give you the code word for your chance to win an Amazon Echo Pop. Make sure you're listening for that for your chance to win.
Well, ask and you shall receive, Bax.
What are you talking about?
Well, yesterday we were talking about the process of the cake committee. Here at Rock 102, and I expressed my disdain for the way that we had to have a card signing for an employee who previously worked here not that long ago, and then we have a card to welcome that employee back, which I think is absolutely ridiculous.
And I had no problem signing my name to that card at all.
And then that other lady came down here, Marianne, and she's like, "Are you going to sign the card?" And I said, "Absolutely not." Which I think I scared her a little bit. I think she because my voice booms sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you can be, not for me, but for some people, you might be seen as a little intimidating.
Well, I had to apologize because I didn't want her to think that I was angry with her. I was angry with the process. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And lo and behold, the Sovereign Cake Prince didn't get this message that I was upset about that whole thing. So she sent out the annual February birthday choose your cake email
Okay.
Which I had previously read on the air about how to pick the cake and the basketball bracket style thing if it comes down to it.
Right.
I really don't think this new employee, even though her birthday's in February, should be included on that. I was telling you that yesterday. I think you have to participate here for at least a year of solid employment before you decide that you can eat the cake, but you cannot participate in choosing the cake.
Now, when we had this discussion the other day, was it yesterday, day before? I don't even remember. But anyway, when we had this discussion, I was what I was saying is that, that stance actually drives a wedge in the staff, because for all we know, the other two people who are legitimately celebrating their birthday in February may have had a private conversation with this returning employee, going behind your back and then deciding what kind of cake all three of them can agree on. And maybe they're working against you in this.
Well,
like there's some sort of ongoing coup d'etat for the cake czar.
And this is why, you said I was making up the rules as I go. No, there's a whole list of rules. And I can make up the rules as I go, but there is a list of the Rock 102 Cake Committee bylaws that have been drafted.
Was there a committee that put these together?
Yeah, well, there's two people on the cake committee, me and the Sovereign Prince upstairs.
Has the Sovereign Prince seen these provisions?
No. I don't. Our schedules don't match up. I don't listen. If I don't have to see, if I don't see anybody, then then they don't. They're not in the loop. You want to be in the loop. You got to be here at 5:30 in the morning. Anyway,
all right.
So Rock 102 Cake Committee.
Hold on.
bylaws.
Let me give you a little bit of musical backup. How about some average white band? Cut the cake.
I would have went with Someone Left the Cake Out in the Rain, the MacArthur Park.
But that's not even all about cake.
Anyway, the Rock 102 Cake Committee bylaws, an autocratic dessert regime.
Oh, my God.
Article 1, supreme purpose. The Rock 102 Cake Committee exists not to foster democracy or fairness, but to establish an unrelenting cake monarchy under the iron-fisted rule of cake czar Steve Nagle and his second-in-command, Sovereign Cake Prince Aaron from Promotions. The purpose of this committee is to select one cake per month for the celebration of those who have managed to survive another year.
Okay.
Enforce cake law with absolute authority. Crush dissent from the cake-oppressed masses with swift and unyielding judgment.
Am I going to get squashed? Am I going to get cake canceled?
You might. This is not a democracy. It's just a dictatorship with frosting. Delicious, delicious frosting. Article 2, the glorious leadership of the cake empire. Steve Nagle, cake czar. The cake czar's power is absolute, eternal, and unquestioned. You can't question
there's a lot of people questioning it.
Yeah, but you can't. You keep it to yourself.
I just did.
Cake czar alone holds the final cake decree, determining what flavor will be bestowed upon the unworthy masses. He may ignore opinions, suggestions, and pleas as he sees fit.
Okay, yeah.
The cake czar reserves the right to order no cake at all if the mood strikes.
You're swatting down cake for people that deserve cake?
I'll take the cake.
Oh, you're taking the cake, all right.
And any insubordination shall be met with cake exile, wherein the offender is banned from partaking in that month's cake celebration, and possibly future cakes on my whim. Yeah.
This is interesting because what I hear you insinuating is that this has really gone to your head.
Yeah. All right. Number 2. Ready?
Yeah.
The Sovereign Cake Prince, which would be Aaron, up in Promotions.
Yeah.
Right? Sovereign Cake Prince serves as the Tsar's most trusted advisor and executor of cake law. However, the prince may be allowed to influence the decision, but only if the Tsar is in a generous mood that day. You got to be on my good side.
Oh, okay.
In the event of the Tsar's brief absence, such as maybe a colonoscopy, a nap, bathroom break,
A sick day.
the cake prince shall assume temporary control and may impose martial cake law as needed.
What about an extended sickness? Let's say like you're out for several weeks.
Well, then,
and cake has not been served yet.
Well, then, the cake prince takes over everything, I guess.
Can she be trusted?
I don't know. Number 3, the peasant underlings, which is everyone else, including yourself.
Me?
Yeah. The rest of this Rock 102 staff are just mere cake serfs. They have no voting rights. Their opinions are tolerated only as a source of amusement for the Tsar and the Prince. Birthday havers may submit official petitions for a cake flavor, but these will likely be dismissed with an exaggerated sigh, if you will.
Okay. All right.
Article 3.
Article 3.
Yeah, the monthly cake selection process. Step 1. Birthday serfs submit their cake requests. These are the ones that are celebrating the birthday in the month. Peasants born in the upcoming month may submit their humble cake pleas by the 15th of the preceding month. Submissions should include cake flavor, provided to you on a menu from La Fiorentina, or Florentina.
Yep.
A frosting choice, and a statement of why you believe you are worthy of such cake. We're upping the ante here.
Statement of worthiness.
Yeah.
It's their birthday month.
Yes, but why? Again, with this employee coming back here, she needs to have a good reason why she should be eligible for a cake, even though she hasn't worked here in over 8 months.
She's got as good of a reason as anybody.
And here's the caveat. If the Tsar and the cake prince are in a particularly foul mood, they may declare this month's cake to be something horrifying, such as like one of those Jell-O mold things with Miracle Whip in it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, well, yeah. This is just to keep you on your toes.
Okay.
Number 2, the Tsar and Prince decide or ignore everyone. The Tsar and Sovereign Prince will review the submitted flavors and then laugh at them for their choices. Because I think we know better what people want.
I don't think you
People
do.
are asking
I think
for.
you're just imposing your own will.
If a single flavor is agreed upon by all birthday havers, which has never happened,
Right.
we've only been doing this 3 months, the Tsar may consider it, but it is not obligated to do so. So basically, these are all rules written in my favor. Because
Yeah,
I can do whatever I want as the cake czar.
Really?
I have the access to the company credit card to purchase said
You
cake.
don't have full access to the company credit card. You just have credit card access for cake.
If a dispute arises among the birthday serfs, the selection moves to the Great Cake Bracket Showdown.
Okay.
And here, Article 4, the Great Cake Bracket Showdown. Cake flavors shall be entered into a single elimination tournament, rigged entirely in favor of the cake czar's win. The cake prince shall oversee the matchups and conduct a ceremonial chant before each round.
Is she aware of this?
She's going to find this out either right now or later on today.
Because she's not really the chanting sort.
She can chant. I bet you we can get her to chant. Listen, I have a lot of influence around here. I can get people to do whatever I want.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If a final tie occurs, the cake czar may break it in one of the following ways: a coin flip, a best of the rock, paper, scissors battle. We can do that.
That's fair.
And declaring that all options are terrible and going with funfetti, just to make people mad.
Okay, so is there an Article 6?
There's an Article 5.
Article
we didn't get
5.
to 4. That was Article 4.
Okay.
This is the Cake Day rules. Supreme law of the land, by the way. Cake shall be presented on the first Friday of the celebratory month, which is actually the second Friday. I kind of messed that up when I wrote that.
Well, then maybe you'll have to go back and fix that.
Or whenever I damn well please, because
Sure.
I'm the cake czar. If you don't like the chosen cake, you may eat it anyway. Like the ungrateful son of a bitch that you are.
That's the shut up and like it.
Yeah. You can either, or you can starve. That's the other one.
Right.
Or you can file a formal complaint to the cake committee, which will be ignored almost immediately. And if anyone dares to request an alternate dessert, that's when things get real. And you will be banished from cake privileges for at least 3 months if you complain about it.
Really?
Yeah, listen, I'm not messing around here. Article 6, emergency cake protocols. Okay?
Okay.
The bracket system fails because you all argue like a bunch of children at a social club meeting. The cake czar may declare one of the following rules: the Great Cake Famine. No cake for anybody.
That's not fair.
You're suffering cakeless despair, you serfs. The punishment cake. Now, this is one of these things that's like a flavor specifically designed to cause disappointment. Again, back to the Miracle Whip and Jell-O mold cake.
Okay.
Anarchy Month. There's no official cake, but everyone is expected to fend for themselves in a savage free-for-all. You cannot use the company credit card to do this. buy what you want. I
okay.
think that's giving people a choice. In times of a dire cake crisis, the cake prince may invoke the royal backup pastry clause, wherein the cake may be substituted for stale grocery store cake. Box of gas station donuts, perhaps. And whatever's left in the vending machine upstairs. Article 7. Right?
Number 7.
Yeah. These bylaws, this is my divine authority, by the way. These bylaws may only be amended by the cake czar and the cake prince. Any attempt to overrule the monarchy will result in immediate execution of cake privileges. You will no longer be allowed to choose the cake. If I wake up in a bad mood, these bylaws may be dissolved immediately. And the committee shall become the Rock 102 pizza regime instead.
I see. And you'll be a part of that one too?
Yes. Signed with absolute authority, Steve Nagle, cake czar, and Aaron from Promotions, the sovereign cake prince.
Okay, well, listen, this is all very well and good, but I believe these provisions need to be ratified by Rock 102 management, and I don't believe they've been consulted on any of this.
Management. What do they know about anything?
They're the ones that pay the company credit card balance every month.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that. I got to consult
They
with them.
actually have ultimate authority, even over the likes of you.
No. I was bestowed with this thing to improve morale around here.
Yeah, I can see how well you're doing with all these incredible impositions and demands.
It's fair. Everything about this is fair.
It's fair to you, but what happens if there's there's a slight dispute and you lose your cake privileges for 3 months?
Well, what if I dissolve the entire cake committee and then you get nothing? Is that exactly what you want?
I'm sure that there will be people that will emerge.
Yeah, you know what? People will emerge and you can go back to your little stale grocery store cake.
You know who I see taking over?
Duncan Hines.
I know who I see emerging? The person that's coming back and being rehired.
Actually, yeah, she seems like the kind of person that would get something bad though.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Those little cinnamon roll cookies for everybody.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Well, there you go. This is the end all be all. These are the laws, and if you don't like it, you can leave.
It's 7:24 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. 30 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news, and it is brought to you by Freedom Credit Union. Freedom is yours. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. It's been 3 weeks since a woman's body was found inside Forest Park in Springfield. On January 7th, Springfield police responded to Forest Park after reports of a body being found. They located the person later identified as 56-year-old Joanne Gorelli of West Springfield in the area of Trafton Road near Camp Star Angelina, just a few feet from the residential houses. Gorelli's death was eventually ruled a homicide, and understandably it caused some concern for parkgoers and neighbors. Now, 3 weeks later, Hamden DA Anthony Gallooni said they've made progress in the case, which remains active and very much in the spotlight. He said, right now we're in the somewhat early stages determining motive, as well as following up on leads and continuing to await and collect forensic evidence as well. Excuse me.
Let her rip.
Got to get that out. Got to get it out.
You don't want to keep it in.
No. In the days following the grisly discovery, Hamden County Sheriff Nick Kochi said his office would provide increased presence in the park to assist Springfield police with additional patrols. While Gallooni didn't comment directly about potential suspects or persons of interest, he did indicate to Western Mass News that his office does not believe there's any ongoing current danger to the public. So there's not some random person running around out there, other than the normal randoms that are running around out in Springfield.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Scary stuff, man.
Gallooni said they're still asking anyone with any information about the case to come forward, and he remains confident that they'll solve it and bring someone to justice. Let's go down to Connecticut, because there's always some...
well, right now, we're kind of doing the show, aren't we?
Well, I mean, figuratively speaking.
Oh, okay. Go right ahead then.
A Vernon resident and Massachusetts teacher has been arrested for allegedly showing obscene material to a minor. Auburn police say they were contacted by Auburn Public Schools Administration on January 22nd to investigate a report of concerning online activity by a staff member, and after an investigation, an arrest warrant was signed for 29-year-old Curtis Field of Vernon. Field turned himself into the Auburn Police Department yesterday. He was released on $500 cash bail. His bail came with conditions. He can have no contact with any of the victims. He must stay away from the victims. He must stay away from Auburn and Spencer schools, and can have no unsupervised contact with anyone under 16. I guess that'll make it hard for you to do your teacher job.
Yeah, I would think so. So, how did this happen? That he showed the stuff off?
Well, I mean, just like any other local news story, you're not going to get the full details on how it came about. We just have the allegations that he's apparently showed some obscene material. That could mean many different things. I don't know. That's where the details would be important.
Well, I assume that some of these details are being held privately because of they're minor, because minors are involved in having seen some of this stuff or any number of things. But yeah, it would be kind of nice to know. Well, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about like he exposed them to filthy language, photographs, video? What is it?
Yeah,
what is it?
Again,
and I don't know.
Well, that's what the news station is there for, to not give you any information.
Well, thankfully, my expectations are increasingly low.
A pair of individuals have been arrested following a road rage incident in North Stonington. Road rage. On Thursday night. According to Connecticut State Police, around 10:50 p.m., officers were deployed for a report of an assault in the area of New London Turnpike in North Stonington. The victim told police he was on his way home from Groton and was traveling eastbound on Route 184 behind a black SUV that was driving at a slow speed. The SUV then brake-checked him several times before completely stopping the vehicle. Well, did it work? Your brakes working?
Mm-hmm.
The victim then decided to pass the SUV, but then the SUV was trying to approach him at a high speed and started to follow him closely while flashing their high beams. When the victim arrived at his destination, the SUV continued to follow him, and when he got out of his car, a woman got out of the passenger side and saw her with a firearm in her hand. The woman then began to yell at the victim and told him he tried to run their vehicle off the road. A man also got out of the driver's side and immediately tackled the victim to the ground. After that, the victim said he was able to grab a firearm from the woman and hit the man with it.
What the hell?
Both individuals began to hit the victim in the face and head as he was trying to dial 911 with his phone. The pair prevented the man from calling help, and they returned to their vehicle and left the scene. Police said the magazine to the firearm was left with the victim, and troopers observed it to be used for a BB gun. Officials now have revealed both individuals as 59-year-old Monique Doré of Stonington, and the man accompanied by her was identified as 63-year-old Scott Kilty of Stonington. 59 and 63.
These are assumed to be adults, right?
I guess so. Doré's vehicle was later found in Mystic, and she's now being charged with interfering with an officer, disorderly conduct, interfering with an emergency call, yada, yada, yada. Kilty will also be facing the similar charges. Both individuals were released on a $25,000 bond while they wait for their court date on February 7th in New London. Damn.
All this could have been resolved if you just mind your business and keep driving.
This is really why you should be getting a dash cam, because it will help you when people, this could have been like one of those, hey, you almost hit my car kind of deals.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you run into somebody from behind, it's most likely going to be I think you're mostly at fault, right? When you hit somebody from behind?
Yes.
As far as the insurance coverage is concerned.
That's
so
right.
It could be one of these insurance scam type of deals where you're trying to get somebody to crash into you. It's probably a good idea to get a dash cam because of the way people drive nowadays.
Yeah, but some people are going to say, well, that having the dash cam invades my own privacy because I would like to also drive like a jerk, and I don't want anyone to know about it.
A woman was charged with drunk driving and assaulting a state trooper. Connecticut State Police identified a suspect as 28-year-old Jessica Reyes of Derby. Trooper said they responded Saturday night to a 911 call in which a person reported an erratic driver on Route 8. The caller said the driver ran off the road in the center median and may have hit a Jersey barrier. The trooper found a black Jeep Liberty in the center median of Route 8 southbound near exit 7. It was determined that the vehicle had not collided with the Jersey barrier, and the trooper made contact with the operator to ascertain why the vehicle was parked in the center median. Ascertain. Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
I want to delineate what is going on here. I ascertain you wanted to talk to me, sir? The trooper identified the driver as Reyes. While speaking with Reyes, the trooper observed multiple signs of impairment and requested Reyes to step out of the vehicle so as to not administer standardized field sobriety testing. They said as soon as Reyes stepped out of the vehicle, it became apparent she was unsteady on her feet. They reported that she lost her balance and nearly fell over into the left lane of Route 8 southbound. Yeah, but how many people on a Saturday night in Derby are doing the same thing?
More than a few, I'm sure.
State police said Reyes was then escorted to the ground where she was placed in handcuffed and advised she was under arrest. And then while doing so, she spit in the trooper's face.
All right, that might have been a mistake.
Yeah. Reyes' vehicle was towed from the scene. She was transported to a state police barracks where she was charged with the illegal operation of a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol and drugs, improper parking on a highway. That's the one she's fighting, though.
All right, again, this seems to me to be the kind of thing that the Steve Nagle College of Knowledge should address. At no point in any situation should you hork a big fat Luger into the face of a police officer.
Yeah, that's not recommended that you do that.
That is almost an instantaneous you arrest right there. You're asking for a beatdown.
Or you're asking for a spit mask.
That's right.
Put one of those spit masks over your face.
That's why the SWAT teams wear them.
You know, like last week I was talking about which protester would you rather have, for a night of hot fun.
Yeah, right.
Which suspect would you rather have for a night of hot fun? The one that complies with everything or the one that, tries to spit in your face?
Yeah, you don't want when it comes to law enforcement, you don't want the old huck to a girl to be emerging as a suspect.
Yeah, man, that girl, she just has gone by the wayside now.
Well, what a surprise.
Well, no, because everybody kept saying, no, she's going to be, remembered in the annals or annals of history.
No, she won't.
Yeah.
No, the 15 minutes has come and gone.
Yes, when you screw all the people that were following you out of Bitcoin or whatever meme coin that she made. Did you ever get on a scale and you max it out so much that it doesn't even have a reading to it? I've done that, depending on who makes the scale.
There have been times.
Well, did you even know this was possible? A drunk driver in Wisconsin was so hammered on Friday he maxed out the breathalyzer.
Now,
which is probably the most Wisconsin thing that I've ever heard.
It really is, and I'm not surprised that someone could do it. Is this one of those breathalyzers that has like a low set limit on it?
I don't know. 52-year-old Randall Villarreal is a middle school gym teacher in Waukesha.
Yep.
Is that how you say it?
Waukesha.
Cops got a call last Friday about a hit-and-run crash around 7:30 a.m. Turned out Randall had dropped his kid off at a different school. Then he drove off, rear-ended someone on his way to work, and left the scene. He told police he had to go because he was a teacher and he had to get to school.
It's 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Did he start early, or was this the end of the binge?
Know. I don't know. The person he hit got a shot of his license plate. Then cops found his smashed up Jeep in the school parking lot, and there are photos of this Jeep. It's pretty crazy. They gave him 4 field sobriety tests, and he failed every single one of them. Then the principal asked them to search Randall's office, where they found more alcohol. It sounds like this guy may have had a problem. When they breathalyzed him, he blew a 0.4 or 5 times the legal limit.
Wait a minute.
And it may have been higher because that's where it maxes out.
A 0.4?
Yeah, but it maxes. See, the thing maxes out at a 0.4.
Still, a 0.4 could kill you, right?
Yeah. In court on Monday, a judge told him that he's lucky to be alive. He couldn't believe someone could be that drunk, especially before 8 a.m. Well,
wow.
But I mean, to say it like that, I can't believe you'd be drunk before 8 a.m. Well, I mean,
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
You can be drunk at any time of the day. It may not be normal for somebody to be intoxicated before 8 a.m., but it's certainly possible.
According to the Cleveland Clinic, a blood alcohol content at a 4.0 is a 0.4 potential fatal blood alcohol level. You're at risk of a coma and death from respiratory arrest, which of course is the absence of breathing.
Yeah, but what a ride, man.
The perfect blood alcohol content for, say, like dodgeball or like the president's physical fitness test, or to have the kids do some old-fashioned square dancing in gym.
Did you ever have a teacher that drank?
Oh, yeah.
My 6th grade teacher, I knew you could always smell it because I remember, the smell, my dad had that same smell.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't having an affair. It was just the same thing they were consuming.
There were a couple of teachers that I remember in high school that had that smell of like booze and cigarettes.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what kind of teacher. There were a couple of people in like the vocational school.
Yeah.
They had to do that. But there were a couple of like an English teacher I remember had that problem, and somehow after I graduated, somehow lost his job after going on a field trip to a ski resort.
Oh, is that?
One of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, we never had. Nobody ever got caught if they were doing it. I know this one lady. You could smell it on her, and she'd have that like that dry drunk attitude. The one that was upset because she hasn't had alcohol for the rest of the day. Probably ran out by 7:30.
Seriously, jonesing by lunch.
But I remember having like there was a gym teacher who was like he had anger issues, like a lot of anger issues.
Yeah,
I don't remember him being drunk or anything, but he just had this abusive. He slammed several of us, me included, up against a wall one time.
Well, what were you doing?
Well, he didn't even see anything happen. Another student accused me of giving them the middle finger, and then he asked me if there was something wrong with my hands, and before I could answer, he slammed me up against the wall, the brick wall on the outside of the school building, and then sent me to the office, to which I didn't say anything because I was afraid that he was going to kick my ass.
Right. You do know that today, if a teacher put his hands on you, other than to break up a fight or other to defend himself.
Oh, yeah.
That would be against the law.
That would be considered, I believe, child abuse.
That's an assault.
Yeah. But, well, that was the days when, you didn't talk back to somebody like that. I'm serious. That guy never got in trouble. Larry Plum, his name was.
Well, he was... Wow, I mean that's aggressive.
He had it was a guy that probably shouldn't have been teaching elementary school students.
Probably not.
It sounds like more of a he should have been a military drill instructor if he wanted to exert that kind of behavior.
Well, maybe he had been and lost that job too.
I think he probably was.
Yeah, that's the wrong guy to be telling kids how to square dance.
We never did. You know what we did? No, you know what we did with him? We did the parachute. Did you ever do the parachute?
Oh, yeah.
And then he would get mad that somebody wasn't holding the one string on the parachute. It was kind of like, Dad at school.
Yeah, right.
They make you feel right at home inside this elementary school.
But rather than being in charge of 5 children, that teacher was in charge of like 35 children.
You get dry dad at school and you get wet dad at home. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be a mix of sun and clouds, maybe a chance of a shower or two, and a high of 39. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 26. It's 23 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Men, it's 102 Springfield's Classic Rock. Some easy listening love songs of Joan Jett on Rock 102.
Voice of an Angel. It's going to see some mix of sun and clouds today. Could see some showers, maybe even some snow, depending on what elevation you're at in the Pioneer Valley. And a high of 39 tomorrow. Sunny with a high of 26. It's 23 right now in downtown Springfield.
Now you're gonna have to excuse me as if I butcher this guy's name, but congratulations to Andy Daigle or Daig of East Granby. I don't know how you really pronounce that.
Daigle.
Right. Anyway, he was listening to Rock 102 yesterday morning, the Bax and Nagle show, heard the code word for the Amazon Echo Pop with code word Alexa, and followed the instructions, which was to hear the word and then go to rock102.com before noon and enter the word correctly for your chance to win. And he did, so congratulations to him. Today's code word, Steve, is the word echo. The word is echo. ECHO, as in echo, echo, echo.
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 Echo. Echo.
Echo.
Echo.
There you go.
Echo.
Anyway, so good
Echo.
luck. Go to rock102.com before noon. Maybe you'll be the winner of an Amazon Echo Pop from Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
Side hustles. You got any side hustles?
Other than the podcast thing that I do, I got no real money-making side hustle.
Yeah, well, that doesn't really make a whole lot of money.
No, it's really all for my own bloated ego.
Well, here's a unique idea. A guy in Ohio bought 2 vending machines a few years ago and just pays a company to restock them. All he does is go and collect the money each week. Like you're some mafioso guy. I saw it on The Sopranos.
Wait a minute.
They were doing the Sopranos were doing the vending machines.
Mafia involved in vending machines?
Oh, I mean it's cash business.
Next thing you'll be telling me that they used to be involved in like illegal sports gambling. I won't stand for that.
No, that's all done professionally now by companies like FanDuel.
Go figure. You think you know a bunch of guys.
Yeah, you know what? We're sick of these people doing illegal sports betting. Let's make it legal, and we can do it too.
And do a more public job at doing it.
Yes, and then we can fix games so Taylor Swift makes it to the Super Bowl every year. He paid $600 for a Coke machine and $800 for one that sells snacks. He posted a video showing how much money he made in 1 week, just under $250. It's more like half of that with expenses, but still, it's pretty easy money.
Yeah,
but it's maintaining it. It's going out and restocking it and all that stuff.
That's actually where the hard work is, because you got to buy everything, got to restock it, and you got to try to make all that money back. Sometimes some vending machine companies, and I'll go back a few years. We had a vending machine company many years ago that filled the vending machine with really horrible tasting snacks. And I don't know why. It just was not really good stuff. But then, and I don't know how this happened, there was a way you could actually open up the vending machine without anyone really knowing you opened it up.
Really?
Which means you could grab a couple of things of Cheez-Its, maybe some Ring Dings, some Ho-Hos, some Twinkies, and no one needed to know.
Was that the rotating one? It had the rotating thing on it?
You remember that one? The one that was like right down here?
Well, it was upstairs in the break room when I started working here, but it was gone shortly after that. But it was one of those things. You're right. It had like this little thing where you could lift up the door on it and then sneak out a
just enough
snack or two.
Yeah, that was
especially
those
if the snack was small, like a Slim Jim. You get this. It's what they call them, Slim Jims, because they're so slim to get out of the snack machine.
I used to work at a place that had like a soda machine, like the soda vending machine. And those little keys, they look like little tubes. They fit in there, and that's how you open the thing up.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why this was, but the key was always left on top of the vending machine.
Why?
Which means anyone could open it up and grab free soda pops.
Well, that seems like a dumb thing for somebody to do.
Yeah, but I got a lot of free soda that way.
I bet you did, but that didn't make any money for the guy running the vending machine.
I don't think. I think that was all set up by the boss, to be honest.
The problem is you have to. I don't think this guy who runs our vending machine makes a lot of money. There's not a lot of people working here enough to sustain a monthly income.
I don't know.
Put in. I mean, and you have to find out what people want. That's another hard thing to do. You have to take a survey of all the employees of whatever workplace you're putting one of these things in there.
Well, maybe you should assume the role of vending machine czar, since you've already taken cakes away from everybody.
I don't need to hire any underling. I'm going to need a staff. I'm going to need, Listen, I the only thing I really do as cake czar is call La Fiorentina and order the cake. It's the cake sovereign prince that does all the legwork. Goes, buys the cake, brings the thing, gets the decoration, sets it up. Mm-hmm. The way it should be.
Right.
That's what we do around here. But I'm not going to be doing the vending machine thing. That's a waste of my time.
Oh, that's the waste of your time.
I want I was talking about getting an ATM and having one of those somewhere. You got to find somebody that would host it for you, though. Some guy offered me to buy an ATM.
What was that going to cost you?
a couple $1,000, but I mean, in the long run, it's worth it. I mean, you can charge up to. I mean, the casinos do it for $8 a hit or $7 a hit,
which is kind of outrageous.
No, that's smart on their part
On their
because
part,
they know you're not going to be able to go anywhere. What, are you going to walk down the street to the bank?
For the consumer, giving $8 in fees, plan ahead. Go to your own bank.
But that's the fault of the person doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it.
No, but I mean, what you could make $3, $4 off a transaction. Every time.
I know. Listen, I'm not saying it's not a smart business plan. It's just from a consumer point of view, there's got to be other ways around it.
Do we have any need for a cash machine here at Rock 102?
I can't even imagine how we wouldn't.
Judging by this place, it'd be empty all the time.
It's 7:57 at Rock 102.
Call or text us in. And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Hey, everybody, exciting news today in the world of professional football. News that doesn't have anything to do with that crummy Super Bowl they got planned for February 9th between the Philadelphia Eagles and the refereeing crew that'll be playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. No, sir, I'm talking about the real important stuff. I'm talking about the Pro Bowl. Why am I doing that? Because it's a damn Pro Bowl, and everyone's talking about the announcement that Drake May of the Patriots has been selected as the replacement player for Bills quarterback Josh Allen. That's right. Drake May is going to the Pro Bowl. After every other quarterback in the league found themselves with better stuff to do, it was Drake May of the 4-13 New England Patriots who finally got the call. I should also point out that Russell Wilson of the Pittsburgh Steelers was also selected to replace quarterback Jaden Daniels of the Washington Commanders, and Lord knows they wouldn't have picked that guy unless everybody else said no first. Either way, Drake and Russell will get to enjoy stuff like tomorrow night's Pro Bowl Skills Night. This is an event full of thoroughly relevant football-adjacent competitions, including such ambiguous stuff like passing the test, satisfying catches, something known as the Big Spike, a relay race, the Helmet Harmony, and finally, dodgeball. But that's not all, because they've also added stuff like, and I'm not making this up, the EA Sports Madden NFL 25 Challenge, Punt Perfect, the Great Football Race, and a Tug of War. Then, once that's over, you'll have the official Pro Bowl itself on Sunday at Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida, where some of the best remaining players in the NFL will compete in the non-contact, competition-resistant flag football game. The winner of which will get to enjoy a big fat paycheck of $90,000. That's almost more than Drake May makes in an entire week. And now he's one of the lucky few who have been selected to replace players who couldn't be bothered to participate otherwise. And he's doing it in his rookie season. Why, it's almost enough to make you forget about what a lousy season they had. It certainly would be enough for me. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You know, I'm looking at the deals this month at Rocky's, the bird food, the storage totes, the hand tools, what have you. I'm looking at the printed flyer. Pick one up at the Rocky's store or the sales flyer online at Rockies.com. What's on sale at Rocky's? It's always at your fingertips at Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 8:10 and Bon Jovi with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 39. Could see some rain showers in there as well. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 26. It is 23 right now in downtown Springfield.
You see this story out of Colorado? This guy is at this guy and his family are at like a track meet, high school track meet, and. I mean, there's certain events in these track meets that are, more than just running and jumping, like, there's javelin, discus, and the hammer throw.
Fencing. Yeah.
Did you hear about this hammer throw accident that happened?
No.
So this kid is doing the hammer throw, okay? So, that's the thing where you spin around, you let go of the hammer, and you see how far it goes.
Yeah.
Well, this kid throws the hammer. It kind of gets away from him a little bit, and it hits this guy in the stands and kills him. Ugh. And the guy, like, as he's seeing the hammer, like, in the air, hurtling towards his family, the guy steps in front of his wife and kid and saves them. but gets hit by the hammer and dies.
He's a hero.
He is a hero. I mean, this is like an accident, obviously. I mean, I'm sure the kid that throws the hammer feels terrible, but I mean, this is an act of a real hero, a tragic story, but nevertheless, he saved his family.
You know, you think about all the different sporting events and all the different things that could potentially kill you by just having fun. I mean, it even says on the back of the tickets when you go to the hockey game that you're assuming your own risk. If a hockey puck were to come out of
right.
off the ice and over the glass and into the stands and knock you right on your ass, that's on you. You know,
you're supposed to be paying attention, but even when a hammer's being thrown, I mean, hey, you got to act quick, and you don't know where the thing is going.
Yeah,
but this guy, quick thinking, sees the hammer come at his family. He's like, I'm going to take care of this, and boom. Winds up killing himself. But
I once had that experience of a person throwing hammers at me, and I just went under the bricks and then knocked the bricks up, and the bricks smashed, and the guy throwing the hammers died.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was all these adventures. I was chasing after a princess.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a fact?
Yeah. It was part of my day. I used to be a plumber. I was a plumber back in the day.
Really?
And, matter of fact, he had a brother. There were the Hammer brothers that, they like throwing hammers around.
Right.
And I would defeat them. I mean, sometimes it would take me a few times to go back and forth, but eventually I defeated them all and eventually saved the princess at the end. And because every time I would get past these obstacles, I would go. I think I would conquer the day.
Yeah, right.
And then find out that the princess was yet, in fact, in another castle that I would have to go to. And I would go through all these, and it was all revolving around my work as a plumber. I would go down to these pipes.
Yeah.
I would collect coins. Lots
didn't
of
you
money.
didn't you have your brother help you with this?
Yeah, he was. He was a pain in the ass, though. I was more the main character.
I see.
And,
well, I tell you what, I'd much rather do that than have barrels thrown at me by a gorilla.
Oh well, that was our first. That was our first venture that we did.
Yeah,
we defeated that gorilla before he ripped a woman's face off, and then had to be euthanized by the state of Connecticut.
I don't know if that was Travis.
You don't think that happened?
I don't think so.
He was a barrel monkey throwing barrels.
Throwed a lot of barrels. I mean, that's a terrible waste of barrels.
I believe we have some hammer throwing experts on the phone.
Okay,
do we want to do this?
I guess. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Yeah. Hey, this is Rob. I got a funny story. I was at a hockey game well before it was the whatever they are now in Springfield. The
Thunderbirds?
Thunderbirds, yeah. It was a while ago. But before they put the nets up, behind the goalie, it was a pretty good crowd. And some guy up in that, God knows why he was reading a paper, but he was reading a paper. And there was a slap shot, and it went up in the stands, and it hit the seat right next to him. And he put the paper down. The whole crowd erupted in laughter. It was the funniest thing we ever saw.
Oh, that's hilarious!
Yeah, but had that guy caught it like in the throat, it probably wouldn't have been nearly as funny.
Oh yeah, no, that's why it was like, what the hell? It was like I said, I don't know why the hell he was reading a paper. It was just the funniest thing I ever saw. It was funny.
You bring up a good point though. Like there are people that that go to sporting events, don't pay attention. They get hit in the noggin with a baseball or a hockey puck or a tire from a crash at a NASCAR event. I mean, any number of things you don't want hurtling at you as a spectator, and you got to pay attention.
Yeah, both my kids years ago were in all kinds of sports, and I was always very aware, looking out for whoever, against, whatever could happen, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. Interesting story. Appreciate the call. Thank you.
What's your favorite getting injured at a sporting event story?
Oh, Jesus. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
This is the retired Mike Uno.
Oh, hello,
hey,
Mike Uno. How are you?
How's it going?
I'm good. I'm just hopping on. First-time caller? No, I'm not a first-time caller. Is this like an open line?
Well,
No,
it can
no,
be.
I mean, it's-
we're trying to gear it towards have you ever been hit in the head with a piece of sporting equipment at an event? But you can say whatever you'd like.
Well, I got a funny story that I wanted to tell you at the open line, but I couldn't get through.
Well,
All
then
right,
tell us.
Then go for it.
All right, I got a daughter. She's down in Tampa. Been down there 8 years. I buy her a car. The car's out of warranty. She's got a problem with it. I said, you got to find a mechanic down there. She calls me up and said, Dad, I found a mechanic. He took care of me. He's fantastic, and he doesn't charge me for things. I go, fantastic, honey. What's the name? She goes, it's called Midas. I said, honey, could you spell that for me? Midas. That's her mechanic down in Tampa. Midas.
Oh, wow, Midas.
I bet he's really
Yeah.
good. He can change oil so fast.
Did he pick up all the debris off of the ground from when your car smashed into the Midas?
That's what made me think about the story.
Yeah, there
Only
we go.
one more thing, because I know you guys are going to kick me off. It's Howdy time, so explore Western Mass.
All right.
Jump on the Howdies and nominate a Howdy.
A Howdy Award winner for excellent service in the hospitality industry.
There you go. Yeah.
All right,
How about
Mike.
explore Western Mass and do a Howdy nomination.
Will do.
Still running that scam after all these years, right?
No, I'm done with that. This is the first year I won't MC it. We got Ralph Sandello from Poso and Lola's is going to be the new. He's going to be the MC of it.
Oh, good.
All right. Well, if you need a cake czar, let me know. I know a guy.
All right, Mike.
All right,
take
boys,
take
good
care of
hearing
yourself.
you.
Thanks,
All
Mike.
right, you bet.
It's Open Line Tuesday.
It's Wednesday, but we're not
Whatever.
done. Whatever.
I
Rock
forget what
102.
day it is.
Rock 102. Who's this?
It's the Hawkman calling.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. Hawkman, what's up?
Yeah, Friday night I went to the Winter Firefighter Police basketball game. I sat right up front and I got nailed in the side of the head by a basketball.
You did?
Yeah, see, the first quarter I wasn't paying attention. My mother was tackling my right ear. I turned my head going, what did you say? And I took a headshot right to the side of my cheek with the basketball.
Well, I bet whoever lost control of the ball must feel really good that a basketball hit a guy in a wheelchair in the face.
And guess who it was?
Who?
The police chief.
There
the
you
police
go.
chief.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, but no permanent damage on you, right?
Not more than I already have.
Okay. Good to
I couldn't
know.
feel a thing.
I actually couldn't feel a thing.
Yeah,
The
right.
guy almost started crying because he thought he hurt me, but it's like, look at me, I'm in a wheelchair.
Yeah, you've been through worse.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
Nothing. All right, thanks,
All right,
Hawkman.
Steve. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay,
Well,
see.
this
There you
turned
go.
into a hodgepodge of different subjects this
That's,
morning.
I don't mind that. However we get through it, that's good enough for me.
Is it really?
No,
or is
but
it just like we have no? Sometimes we just have no will to talk about anything. It's just like there are a lot of people who are going to their jobs every day, and sometimes people don't feel like doing their job.
Yeah, well, we were productive, I say, early on, but then it started to slack.
I don't even think we've been that productive today. This is like one of those days where we're just trying to pretend like we're busy so the boss thinks we're still doing something.
We look agitated.
Yeah, you got to look agitated. You
right.
got to look like you're busy, like you're doing something.
It's 8:21 at Rock 102. 102 Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:28, almost 8:28, and Sammy Hagar with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Dan Brown will have the full forecast for you.
Bourbon Barbecue and Blues is it's Saturday night, right?
Oh yeah,
That's
is
Saturday
night. Yeah.
Well, it's sold out, and for those of you who got tickets, you're in for a great night. Want to thank our sponsors, Aquapump, Dave Miner Exterior Home Improvements, Nor'easter Organic Life Hydroponics, and the Log Cabin. But most of all, thanks to you who will be joining us on Saturday night at the Log Cabin. Stay tuned for more exciting events coming up in 2025 from Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
Can't believe it's already going to be February.
I know, isn't it crazy?
February or February?
Brewery.
No. All right. You ever been to a cockfight before?
No. Well, wait. Is that the one with chickens?
No, I've been to an Irish one where they grease their zippers beforehand, but never an actual cockfight. Bills introduced by Oklahoma lawmakers seek to make changes to the state's cockfighting laws by reducing the penalties for participating or allowing robotic participation in fights.
Robot chickens?
Robot chickens. Robot roosters, if you will.
Gotcha.
But opponents of cockfighting argue that reducing the penalty would send the wrong message to Oklahomans about the cruel and outdated form of entertainment. They said that voters in the state passed a ballot measure in 2002 making it a felony to own, possess, keep, or train fowl with the intent of cockfighting and can carry a penalty of up to 10 years in prison and up to $25,000 in fines. I've never been to one of these. You know,
I haven't been to one of those or a dog fight or anything. I mean, not even Fight Club. We don't even talk about Fight Club.
Representative Justin Humphrey, who authored the House bills, which respectively attempt to reduce the penalty for cockfighting to a misdemeanor and allow a fowl to fight a robot if the rooster is unharmed. But how important are the... You know, when you're talking about budget issues and things like that, how are like these things even come out of somebody's brain?
I don't know. I mean, and I know, there's a lot of there's a lot of shortage in chickens these days. Of like 100 million have had to be slaughtered for health concerns. But when you've reduced long-standing tradition like cockfighting and turn it into battle bots with fowl. I don't even know if that's even a good replacement.
If you don't know, cockfighting is the practice of forcing two roosters to fight each other, often to the death for entertainment, and regularly includes gambling on outcomes of the fights. The birds are bred and trained for the purpose of fighting. Little Jerry, he's bopping, weaving, talking trash. Now, the lawmaker, this Humphrey, I'm not trying to legalize it. I'm trying to reduce it to a misdemeanor. Again, where is the importance of where your political priorities lie?
Well, if you reduce it to a misdemeanor, then you're going to treat it like it's nothing more than a slap on the wrist.
We've reduced dangerous drugs that are killing people to a misdemeanor, and yet raising a chicken is a felony that carries 10 years. That's complete stupidity.
No, raising a chicken is fine. Training it to fight and kill other chickens while you conduct an illegal gambling operation, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, I would actually think so. He sponsored the bill in 2024 that passed the House, but was never heard in the Senate, probably because they were like, no, we're not entertaining this idea. He said it was a tough deal to get his bill passed in the House last year, and these attempts will be more difficult to get support for than last year because of the resistance from House leadership. Yes, because I don't think it's a priority for any government, local or national, to legalize. Yeah, the reason why they made it illegal was because it was a cruel thing to be doing to two animals.
And it's an illegal gambling operation. There's two things going on
I can handle the illegal gambling. I don't think anybody should face a felony for running a card game at a social club.
No, but
when you're talking about things that animals are fighting to the death,
yeah, that's a little bit much.
But he wants to say, hey, if one of these roosters is a robot, then it's gonna be all okay, and we can go back to betting on them again.
Do you remember how popular the battle bots were back in the day?
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I was thinking.
In my wildest imaginations, I never thought battle bots would be a real big thing. I always said, well, that's stupid. Who wants to watch, cheaply made robots rip each other to shreds? But then I saw it and going, oh, yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
because it's badass.
It's destructive and badass.
Yeah, right.
And you can make a few bucks on the side.
Right.
Forget vending machines. Robot cockfighting is where it's at.
It's too bad the mob didn't have the foresight to get involved in that.
What would it be called? Robocock? Like on the...
I don't know.
Dead or alive, you're coming with
me.
Yeah. There you go. It's 8:33 already.
Oh, it is. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I was trying to get you to move along.
Right. We got news next, Rock 102.
Here's your Western Mass news for
8:35 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Freedom Credit Union. Freedom is yours. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Oh, my God. Did you feel another earthquake that just happened moments ago?
No.
Another earthquake has been confirmed in Maine in the same area as the one that occurred on Monday. The USGS reports that a 2.0 magnitude earthquake was centered in the Atlantic Ocean across from York Harbor, Maine. The quake was 9.9 kilometers in depth. The earthquake was much smaller than the 3.8 magnitude earthquake on Monday. The National Weather Service said the earthquake was 12 miles in depth, 55 miles northeast of Boston, and 45 miles southwest of Portland. They say that there was no tsunami danger from this earthquake. We haven't seen an earthquake cause moderate damage since World War II. But it's important to be aware of your surroundings if you feel shaking. Some of those measures include protecting your head and staying away from older and taller buildings, which we're screwed if anything happens here.
Oh, you could give this building a good push.
For information about earthquakes, you can visit the USGS website.
You know, I feel like I'm missing out because anytime there's been, earthquake activity, I haven't felt a thing. Nothing. Didn't feel it, about a dozen years ago. Haven't felt it now. Twice.
The last time I felt the prowess of an earthquake was when I saw him down at the Funny Bone down in Hartford.
That's comedian Earthquake.
Oh, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, that's different. It's different.
Earthquake.
I mean, he moves the earth with his hilarious comedy bits.
Well, he's a big dude, too.
That as well. But,
Earthquake.
But I haven't felt any of this. I mean, I feel like I'm missing out on something.
Remember that guy talked so fast you couldn't understand what he was saying?
Yes. He was actually very funny, but yes, you're right. He went a little bit fast for the crowd.
He was funny to watch on stage, but on a phone interview, it was almost like he was waking up and he was, I guess being out all night at a comedy club would do that to you, and you're mumbling your words.
Yeah, right.
When you come on for a radio.
Like for example, for a Friday morning, and he just spent a Thursday night doing a dinner and a comedy show at a place in, I don't know, Westfield or something.
That'll take care of you, especially on February 6th when we do $20 dinner and a comedy show.
Oh,
over at
terrific.
Shortstop Bar and Grill.
Perfect.
A Munson resident is alleging that the town has been wrongfully charging him for trash services he says he hasn't received for over 30 years. 30 years?
What happened?
Frederick Giuliani has been living in his house on Cedarhurst Drive since 1985, according to the Hampden County Registry of Deeds. In 1992, he said he received a notification that trash services to his home would be, quote, terminated due to non-payment, yet he has been and continues to be billed for the purported trash fee, according to a complaint filed in Hampden Superior Court on Thursday. As such, Giuliani alleges that his civil rights have been violated. He's being represented by attorney Ed Picula, a former Springfield city councilor who now practices in local government matters and civil rights issues. Picula said Mr. Giuliani has waited a long time to get this resolved. Hopefully we will reach a resolution that will benefit all parties. Giuliani alleges that the town has demanded payments from him and other property owners in the guise of a trash fee purportedly enacted through a town bylaw. Because of the topography of Cedarhurst Drive, the trash hauler is unable to navigate the road to his home. Cedarhurst Drive does not receive trash service, according to one municipal official, and so do all thoroughfares in town.
So, but he still gets billed.
Yeah.
For trash pickup he never receives.
He can't get. I have not heard of that being an issue for any streets in Munson, said Denise Kennedy Buck, the administrative assistant for the health department. They receive pickups every Friday. Smaller streets are allowed to place trash bins or dumpsters at the end of the street in case trash trucks can't maneuver down the road, she noted. The town receives its trash pickup through a private company, Republic Services, a waste disposal business with local offices in Chicopee. We've been working with them for quite some time, she said, explaining that the town is in a 5-year contract with the company. Residents are charged twice throughout the year for trash pickup. In 2024, Munson charged homeowners $324 each for the service. Homeowners can opt out of the trash services by filing an abatement form. Reasons for opting out might be that residents have their own means of disposing trash or found a cheaper option.
Which this guy assumed probably did, right?
Some residents pay Wilbraham a $120 annual fee for the pass to use its nearby transfer station. Abatements are always approved unless the abatement form wasn't filed properly or at the right time. She said residents have to file an abatement form on a yearly basis to continue to opt out. which you shouldn't have to. If you do it once,
it should be enough.
And until you want it again or want to participate, then you go back and say, okay, I'd like to reinstate this.
That this guy filed for an abatement.
Yeah. The defendants through the
board.
No,
I'm asking you. Did he file for the abatement?
No, they've denied the abatements to the plaintiff. That's what's going on here. The defendants through the Board of Health have denied abatements to the plaintiff and others due to imposing unreasonable conditions for opting out in an effort to force plaintiffs and other residents to pay the invalid tax. Giuliani claims that he was only granted abatements between 2003 and 2006, but has otherwise paid trash fees after a lien was put on his home in 2010.
Oh, my
between
God.
2012 and 2015 and in 2017. He said his home was taken for non-payment of taxes despite paying in full for his tax bills, and that he has been threatened with the foreclosure of all property rights to his home. Damn.
That's crazy.
Giuliani was sent a document from the Munson tax collector in 2008 stating that his home had been taken after he had more than $3,000 in unpaid taxes plus interest and incidental expenses. The fact of the matter is that the town is trying to convince people that the trash bill is mandatory when, in fact, it's an illegal tax, explained Pikula.
I got to tell you, I think this guy's got is going to win this case. I mean, why should he be? I mean, why should he be billed for something that he can't take advantage of? And why are they holding it to him? This whole abatement every year thing is kind of stupid, especially if you're going to deny it.
Giuliani has requested that he be awarded monetary compensation for losses, diminished value, and lost opportunity to sell or access his equity or an emotional distress. He's also seeking a jury trial, a declaratory judgment voiding the invalid tax charges and bills issued to him, and an injunction prohibiting any further implementation of the trash fee or issuance of the trash bills. I hope he wins.
I hope so, too. He deserves it.
Yeah, you gotta really pay attention to these town governments. I told you that I lived in a house that bordered, half the house was in East Longmeadow, or maybe a quarter of the house was in East Longmeadow, and the other half of the house was in Springfield.
Right.
You had to pay both excise taxes on the car, and then you had to appeal to one of the towns through an abatement to get the money back.
What a pain in the ass that is.
But that should have been, I mean, these are things that should be first of all, you shouldn't even be able to allowed to be putting a home on two property lines. I think that.
Well, but that happens.
I know
quite
it
a
happens,
lot, but still, there should be some sort of agreement about who's going to be, who's going to be taxing you.
And even if you do that, that should be like worked out before. The town should work that out during the sale of the house.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, you should pay this place, you should pay that place. I don't know. You know what? That's what really burns my craw. We have a guest. It's 23 in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102.
So the body knows.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:49. And Bruce Springsteen with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
It is going to be a mix of sun and clouds eventually today with a high of 44. It's 27 right now in downtown Springfield.
If you've never been to a concert of the Springfield Symphony Orchestra, you need to do yourself a favor. They do great work over there. Every time I've been there for a show, it's just been fantastic. And they got a real good one coming up this weekend. And on the phone with us is the president and CEO of the Springfield Symphony. It's Paul Lambert. Good morning, Paul. How you doing?
I'm fine, my friends. How are you?
Very good. Good to talk to you. I have been to the symphony a number of times over the last 30 years, and whether or not you're a big fan of symphony orchestras, it's just always an amazing experience to see a show there and to hear the music that's being played. And you got a great one coming up on Saturday. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, Saturday is going to be a beautiful show and just a lot of joy. Really, I hope that people do come out because the world is so sad and challenging, it seems, these days. It would be wonderful to get it together for some beautiful music. Byron Stripling, who was with us a couple of years ago, great jazz trumpeter and vocalist, is coming back, bringing with him Sidney McSweeney, another great jazz singer, Bobby Floyd, a great pianist, Jim Rupp, a drummer, and of course the whole Springfield Symphony Orchestra. There'll be 65 musicians on stage, primarily featuring the works of George Gershwin, Irving Berlin, and friends. Really music from the 20s and 30s, and great American songs from the Great American Songbook, It's going to be a wonderful show, and I think that people will just come out and have a great time. So I hope folks to come down this Saturday evening, 7:30, Springfield Symphony Hall. Come downtown and have a wonderful time.
What about the timeless classic of Inagata Davida? Have we gotten to that point yet, Paul?
Well, I have Iron Butterfly in my collection.
Of course you do. Let me tell you something. Paul,
there. Yeah, but
listen, Paul's got a very diverse sense of musical taste here, and which is interesting because in over the years when we've talked to people who work at the symphony or you've been a part of it, it's not like they're only listening to George Gershwin, Irving Berlin songs. It's like everyone's got their own influences and their own taste. But when it comes to bringing up this kind of music, it's really done with a great deal of passion and an amazing amount of talent.
It's remarkable. At first, it's something very special about live performance, and we're the one group that's consistently doing live concerts in downtown Springfield. We think it's really important for the community, for all of us, for the quality of life of where we live, this beautiful area we live in, to have live opportunities to come together as a community around some of the beautiful things that make up our world here, like live symphonic music. We've tried really hard to diversify our offerings over the last couple of years, sometimes doing the beautiful classical music that has been our bedrock for the last 80 years, but also to bring in new types of music like the jazz we're doing this weekend, like different forms of music that appeal to different parts of the beautifully diverse community that make up our larger community. So we've tried really hard to broaden that spectrum.
Well, last year, wasn't it the Looney Tunes last year?
Yeah, we did. We did Bugs Bunny at the Symphony last year.
I thought that was great. I thought that was amazing.
It was really cool because so many people, like me, first time they ever heard a lot of classical music themes were Bugs or Elmer or one of the guys singing it, and so it was wonderful to do that. And we'll look to do some other movie nights in the future.
Me too, and I always thought it was the Blue Danube, not the Blue Danube.
I mean, the Barber of Seville still gets me laughing every single time. But
absolutely. And how many people think that Elmer Fudd was the first one to sing Go, the whole thing?
Yeah.
It was wonderful, yes.
And Paul, you're absolutely right about the experience of live music. I mean, it's so much different than listening to it on your car stereo, off a Spotify playlist or a CD even. I mean, to get the physical experience of the live music is something you can't replicate.
Absolutely, and we're blessed with in downtown Springfield to have this remarkable old theater, Symphony Hall, which has great acoustics, and it's just really special the way the sound travels and pops in that space. I'm moved by it every time because I'm at every concert, of course, but I've been amazed at how really pure and special the experience is to hear the music live. There's something really special about being in the room where the music happens.
Yeah, the other thing to consider, and a lot of people probably don't even realize this. When you talk about going to a concert, any concert, you're often talking about spending a lot of money to go there. The reality is at the symphony, it's really affordable. I mean, tickets for Saturday are starting at like $35. Where can you go to a concert for $35? Anywhere.
Well, and we worked really hard on that. We've had a lot of discussions about that, as you can imagine, internally about. We watch the rising cost of everything else around us. We think it's really important that we are there for the community, and we want to make sure that anyone who wants to come to one of our concerts finds a way to do so. I've talked with the staff many times. I never want anyone turned away because of money. There should be some way that people come. I believe more and more as time goes on in the healing power of music, and I think it's really important that we make ourselves accessible. I think that we come from an area with tremendous cultural but also economic diversity. I think it's really important that our beautiful symphony orchestra, the remarkable tradition we have of live concerts, stay accessible to our community. And I hope that folks embrace that and come out and support us in some way.
The show on Saturday, February 1st, 7:30, Gershwin, Berlin, and Friends, the music of the Roaring Twenties. If someone wanted to buy tickets, Paul, what should they do?
Go to our website, springfieldsymphony.org is the easiest way to do so. Or welcome to call our box office, of course, if people are standing by. Would love to help you. Or just come down on Saturday evening and I'm sure there'll be some tickets available as you walk in the door that night. But the easiest way is certainly to go to our website, springfieldsymphony.org. Tickets are available, and we'd love to have you come down and join us. Please support the symphony. It's really a special thing that Springfield has a symphony orchestra in 2025. For us all to embrace.
We also have a 4-packet of tickets to the show to give away right now. 10th caller at 293-1021. Good luck to you. Paul, great to talk to you. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Jens. It's always a pleasure. Thanks so much for your support.
You bet. Paul Lambert from the Springfield Symphony. Good luck. 10th caller, 293-1021. It's 8:56 on Rock 102.
Your echo is ready.